The Immortal Mask, a 1970s superhero crime noir adventure, follows a retired soldier turned reporter who is given a coveted interview with a death row inmate. What he learns thrusts him into Atlanta's shadowy underworld. He'll have to use his military training to survive being hunted for possessing the information that could topple the city's most powerful ruling class. This is not a pre-order or a crowdfunding campaign. Get your books now at denali's.com.
Oh man, I wish I could find a way to better advertise Apothic Press.
Just back it already.
Whoa, Crom, what are you doing here? What's this? The Madness Roku Network? Sponsorship? 1 month of playing your 30-second ad on the network 3 times a day? Oh my gosh, for $20? And you can't beat that.
Just back it already.
All right, Crom, I'm doing it. Awesome. Hi, I'm Tanner Hurley, founder of Apothic Press. I back the Madness Roku Network, and so should you.
The Fabled Offering is a 38-page sci-fi fantasy one-shot epic about a lone princess on a harrowing quest to save herself and her kingdom from her own past trauma. Attempting to reach the peak of Gafira Mountain while carrying her unborn child, Grand Princess Aurelia of Telendius will stop at nothing to meet the ancient Sizen aboard their starship, the Aegis. Will Sizen accept her offering? Hi, I'm award-winning comic book writer Nandor Fox Shaffer, and the Fabled offering is a project I've had in the works for over a year. Born from my lifelong passion for the science fiction and fantasy genres and properties such as Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Isaac Asimov's Foundation novels, Dune, the Seven to Eternity comic book series, and RPG games like Elder Scrolls and Dungeons & Dragons, the Fabled offering is everything I adore about sci-fi and fantasy poured into one story. Written by me with art by Marco Roblin and lettering by DC Hopkins, we hope to bring you a mature tale about trauma, sacrifice, and the power of choice in the face of fate and destiny. We have astonishing variant covers to choose from, art prints, Kickstarter exclusive rewards, and very exciting stretch goals waiting to be unlocked, including stickers and trading cards. This is my 6th Kickstarter campaign, and you can count on us, this campaign will be fulfilled. Please pre-order your copy today so we can get this dream book of ours into your hands. The Fabled offering now beckons you.
25 seconds to curtain, folks.
Your favorite podcast is Critical Blast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nandor Fox Shaffer. Bring it. Nandor, it's been a minute since you've been on the show.
It has been. I think it was last fall or like last summer around there.
Yeah.
So
How it is with
been...
you Kickstarter creators. You come once a year like Santa Claus.
Man, would I love to do it more often, and would I love to have more campaigns running. That's definitely the goal. I'm thinking next year I'll actually do a couple, so I hope to fulfill on that. But
It takes time and it takes a team. If you're doing it all yourself,
yeah,
it takes as long as it takes. But it's this is a departure for you, and it's first of all, how you been doing? I mean,
I've been
heard.
good. Yeah, no, I've been good. I've been, really busy with this project. I fulfilled Manchild issue 2 this year and got that out to all the backers, and so that campaign was very successful and it went well, and we got all the backers taken care of. And I've been doing some conventions and signings and sharing all my projects out. I actually sold out of my very first book, Seasons Volume 1 Spring. I no longer have any of those anymore, any of the hardcovers. And so now,
Hit up eBay, folks.
yeah, that's right. And now I have to look into how do I want to reprint it? How do I want to do a trade paperback, or do I want to split it up somehow? So really exciting things are happening, and
We can help you
in
with
terms
that.
of comics. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
We can help you with that compendium volume.
Yeah, there we go.
Talk about that. I am my body is craving carbs because I've been like cutting them out for the last 3 months now, and I
Oh,
found
really? Yeah.
this zero carb beer.
Mm.
And this is like my second bottle of it in the last 2 weeks because that's how frequently I want to drink it.
Man, that sounds awful.
Well, I think I found out what they did with all the leftover bottles of Zima from the 90s. Because it's bearable, but it's not beer. It tastes like Zima. And
Not the
yes, I
same.
had one. I still remember
Just
what
one.
it tasted like.
That was it.
But it's cold and it's alcohol and it's the end of the day and it's a Friday. So
Hey, there we
not going to
go.
get-
Nothing like
I'm not going to get
nothing like that on a Friday.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get buzzed off of this. It's got like 1%
Yeah.
alcohol or something. So this you are a writer who is really hard to pigeonhole. You can't say, oh, he writes superhero, or he writes fourth wall breaking stuff, or he writes This is like high fantasy now, but
Yeah.
interplanetary, like Dune, like
Hmm.
like the Hobbit on Barsoom,
Yeah, I
that kind
like
of a
that.
thing. So
Yeah,
so
it's
tell us what's
it's
going on.
yeah. So the Fabled Offering is definitely the most um uh, intensive project that I've been a part of in terms of world building and trying to create something that is unlike anything else that I've done, and really stretching the imagination. Even though I feel like a lot of my projects, I guess I'm always trying to push myself. I'm always trying to challenge myself in the types of stories that I want to write, and I don't want people to, um, from the very get go, when I first started writing seasons, and first put my um, that book out, I was like, I don't want people to read this and think that this is the only thing that I could do. And so I did Lifeline, and that was really different from Seasons, which was more of a
Yeah.
supernatural book. And then I went to Manchild, which was like this superhero Silver Age kind of meta book in a lot of ways. And you can't recognize um any of my other projects in that. And then with this, the same thing, I wanted to do the same thing here, and I wanted to do something where you would look at it and you wouldn't think that, oh, Nandor's doing that. Like wow, like this is crazy and really exciting at the same time. So I wanted to um, create a story that when you read it, and by the time that people who know my work have read it and looked at it, um, they'll be like, "Yes, this is, Nandor flavor of storytelling or comics or whatever." But, uh
Eventually, we're gonna be able to pick you out of the pieces of you out from the different stories.
yes, yeah, and so, I think a great writer, is someone who is able to move to different genres and have that versatility, but to do it well. I mean, there are some people that are just freaking like the best at that specific genre, and I admire those people. But I really would like to impress people and show, if you ever go to one of my tables at a convention or a signing, there's something for everyone, and I really wanted to have that business model with my comics and my own
Now,
creator-owned
is
books.
there an inherent risk in having something for everyone? Because I've run into this where my first
Mhm.
published novel was a children's story, and it
Mm.
did okay. But then, like, further down the line, I'm writing The Destroyer, and I'm writing, vampires who drop F bombs. So if
Yeah.
somebody's bought one thing from you and they expect that this is what you write, and then they get something else. I
Mhm.
mean, how do you guide your audience? I guess.
Yeah, well, I think, if I were to compare this book to any of my previous ones, I think it's most like Seasons more than any of them. And um not only necessarily like with the amount of symbolism that is in this book, but also kind of how heavy of a book it is. And Seasons is a very heavy title as well. And so I think people that like those stories and those two books that I've made so far will like this. I think there's somewhat of a natural cross pollination that could happen there, but um, I really think that I hope that with the 5 books that I've put out now, the people that have read them, not only do they feel like this is um, a good story, but like a quality product, and that they would trust um, that I've fulfilled all my campaigns and that I've put all this work into it. Why not? Why not give this a shot? Because I think I wouldn't have done this like if I would have made all of Seasons and all of Manchild, and I think I would have been seen as that guy. And so I think putting it out while I'm putting out my other stories um, is my way of showing that, hey, like there's more to what I can do and what I have, and if you're liking what I'm creating already, then you'll probably like this.
Yeah. I think this is your eighth crowdfunded title. You had 4 seasons and two.
Well, I
You had
haven't.
4 seasons, Lifeline, and then two Man-Childs.
Yeah, I haven't put out the last 2 volumes of seasons yet. So this
Okay,
is
so I'm
this is my 6th one. Yeah, yeah.
pre-crediting you.
But right. Man, I wish, but yeah, no, this is my 6th Kickstarter campaign, and this will be my 6th book altogether.
Okay, so 6, 8, that's close. It's
Yeah,
there.
close enough, right?
Um, and all of them have fulfilled, and all of them have funded, which is the
Yes.
more important thing. So, speaking of checking that funding here, you've been what 2 days now? I think you just launched yesterday.
Yeah, so I launched Wednesday night at 8
Oh,
p.m. and so we're just about to end day 2.
and you are. I got to look at the bigger screen here. You're about a third of the way there, I'd say.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
we're
and
like
in 2 days, that's not
30,
bad.
36, 37% funded so far. So,
So I'm looking at the story here and I know as much as the Kickstarter tells me and no more, guys. So I'm not
yeah,
privy to
that's
any
right.
back information here. What in the world made you decide that the adventure would be near term pregnancy and going out with a sword?
Yeah. So, there's a lot of reasons why I wanted to do this, but I think the most and the biggest reason was um, I wanted a character that faced a new challenge. So Grand Princess Aurelia is this warrior. I mean, she's a Wonder Woman Xena type character, Red Sonja character. But it's like, what if I wanted to take that to another level, a more like interesting character level, where what if that character was done fighting and had finished fighting their war, and they became a mother? Like, what would that character do? What would they, how would they um, navigate the world and like protect their child, or how would they do that? Because it's so foreign. It's like they're not on the battlefield. The battlefield is protecting themselves and protecting this other life that they have. So I thought that having a character like that and putting them in a situation that it's not necessarily, even though you would be like defending yourself and going out there, the stakes are even higher because you're not just protecting yourself but your own child.
Yeah. And it's got to be a hindrance to any
Exactly.
physical fighting.
Yeah, yeah, she has to go on this journey. She's trying to get to this deity named Sizen, and he is an ancient. In this world, the deities or the transcendent beings are called the ancients, and Sizen is the ancient of time, and so she is trying to get to him, and it's not a short journey to get to Gefira Mountain to get to his ship. To And it's not even guaranteed that she will be welcome into his chamber, into his ship. So there's a lot riding on this, and she's sacrificing the comfort of her kingdom and the comfort of being around her family and the people that love her, and going on this quest alone with no backing and no support, and it's just her and her horse and her sword, and that's all we have.
Yeah. Mike, no, I think this one's a little bit more serious than any Princess Power and Dumb Bunny. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
and so you've got real gods, so to speak. Now whether or not
Correct.
they're like Marvel's Asgardians who are just like really, really, really long lived, but they're really just aliens. Um, and you've got um, this high tech sci-fi, sort of a Star Wars or Blade Runner kind of
Yeah.
aesthetic running behind it all.
Aesthetic, yeah. Yes.
Ha-
So I love fantasy stories, and I love, high fantasy, and um, you know, Lord of the Rings and Dune and um, the Wheel of Time series and like I said, Dungeons and Dragons and some like RPGs and stuff. But um, I love science fiction a whole lot more. And so when I wanted to I wanted to see if I could do a genre mashup, and that's something I really haven't done with my previous books that much. And I wanted to take these two things that I adore and really love, but see if I could find my own voice by putting them together because I didn't want to do a just a straightforward science fiction book, and I didn't want to do a straightforward fantasy book, and I love when they're married, and that's something about Star Wars in particular that I think it
Yeah.
has in its favor compared to other, science fiction or fantasy properties. It's a space fantasy, and that's why we love it so much because it kind of tickles both of those um,
And
little
and both of
needs that
the
we have.
yeah, and both scales of the story accepted each other. You had a guy
Yeah,
carrying a laser
yeah,
pistol saying, "Your sorceress ways don't scare me." It's like, yeah, he's a
yeah.
sorcerer. He does magic stuff. It's and I have a laser pistol because I live in science fiction. Um,
Right, right. So I
that
think, and I think it's another great way to put the reader in a world that kind of is a mirror to our own world because like in a lot of science fiction stories they sort of shy away from the spiritual aspect of it because it's like we're so advanced with our
oh yeah,
technology and with everything that it's just kind of obsolete now like beliefs like that because like we understand everything already but like um I like that element because in the real world, it's like we're always looking towards, meaning and transcendence and like trying to, like meditation and things like that. And so I feel like by the fantasy element, they inform each other, the science fiction and fantasy element, to create a better, more well realized world that you couldn't have with just one or the other.
now I'm looking at I've got the page pulled up, folks, and you can all see this. And by the way, the link to this campaign is right below the video. And of course, I put it here in the chat for those of you who are watching us live right now. But if you're not watching us live, it's still below the video. You can click it anytime. It will open in a new window. You'll get to hear everything that Nandor's got to say. Um, and it looks like you're going to be offering 6 different covers this time. Is that a record for you? Because that seems like a lot.
It is, yeah. Manchild issue 1 had 5 covers, but this is the campaign that has had the most covers of any other that I've done, and it kind of snuck up on me because like I had started working with a few artists, and the more I was working with them, I realized, oh, like wait, I have 6. Like I kind of started reaching out to people that I wanted to work with, and then usually in the past when I've sent out all of these emails to artists, most of the time they're already working on something or whatever, and so like they don't have the time to do it in the time frame that I need. But a lot of them were able to actually follow through, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna have a nice variety of covers here, and I wanted to give since this is planned to be a one shot, I wanted to kind of splurge a little bit and give people a lot more options.
Now, the way you've described the story, it sounds like it would be this sprawling Lord of the Rings Star Wars epic,
Yeah,
and it's 38 pages and it's a one shot.
right,
How
right.
how did you make it feel bigger than the space it actually takes up?
Yeah. So, a lot of that, the art does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the world building and what you see in the world, and but also the language and the terminology and what the characters talk about makes the world bigger too. And it was really trying to find that balance because I wanted to create a really tight science fiction fantasy story, but I didn't want to flood the reader and overwhelm the reader with all of this information. And so I did a lot of world building and a lot of investigation into the motivations for these characters and how the world works, how it operates, and the function of like these different beings and whatnot. But um, that was mostly for me, so that I could understand the gravity of the story I was trying to tell, and that I could write something that felt natural, that felt like it was lived in, and that people could just jump into, and we're off to the races, and we're ready. But um, there, even though this is a one shot, if it is received well and people really enjoy it, there's no reason for me not to explore it more and do more with it, because I definitely have a lot more stories that I could tell with it.
Because I was going to ask if you could, come back to this setting.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, she won't be
Yeah.
pregnant then, because it looks like she had the baby. Okay, folks. And Ario Murti, let's just say he provided some comic book swell in Mom there. Um, she looks good.
Yes. She does. Yes.
These covers all look different and cool. They're all different styles. I mean, as I scrolled past here, let's see. Cortez Flavio's, and well, this is just like this is like when Bill Sienkiewicz would take drugs and then get some paint.
Yeah, yeah, that was all done traditionally with oil painting. And it's a really I wanted to do something that felt like, you would go to an art museum and you would find this relic, and this like old picture of a forgotten world. And so that was kind of the premise for this specific cover. I wanted something to feel worn and tattered and ancient, like it was from long, long ago.
Yeah, and then you get Ario's picture here, which looks like comic book art.
Yeah,
Uh, totally different take on it. And Ricardo's picture is also comic book, but again, not as I don't want to say bright, clean, optimistic, sharp lined. This is more 3D,
right.
more fleshed out. It's got more depth to it, and on a steel horse she rides. Apparently,
That's right. Yeah, that's a cybernetic horse. That's her steed, and that is her lone companion throughout this entire journey. And she's taking a moment there, reflection. The mountain that's behind her in that cover, you see that there. That's actually their destination. And so, with this cover, I wanted to kind of have a story moment where we're showing like, does she actually want to follow through? Like she's that close to her destination, but she's sort of turned away and taking a moment of reflection.
now you can't really tell us why she's got to get there because that would
Right. I can't. Yeah.
ruin the story. but but she's got to. It's important, and I'm guessing
Yes.
she. I'm guessing for whatever reasons she can't wait until after the baby's born. She's got to do it now. There's an urgency.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It has to be done as soon as possible.
Now this cover's yet to be finished. This is Marco Rudy's pencils, but I can tell this is going to be this is going to have some perspective to it that is going to be interesting to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, Marco Rudy, he's also a painter, and he is nearly finished with it. He went to New York Comic Con and came back with the plague, and so he wasn't able to finish it in time for the campaign. But yeah, I love his work. He did a cover for Manchild issue 2, um, and I wanted to work with him again because uh, his style just like screams fantasy, and so it's gonna be one of those covers that feels like a movie poster. Just has like all the characters, all the kingdoms, and um, everything. There's it's gonna be the busiest cover of them all.
Yeah. Is this going to be painted or
Yes, it's gonna be fully painted. Yeah.
looking forward to seeing that one now we got some preview pages of the interior here. And now who's your interior artist?
The interior artist is Marco Roblin,
Okay.
and he does the pencils, inks, and colors. He does it all.
And the letters?
Not the letters. Yeah, the letterer is DC Hopkins, and he's also the letterer for Manchild. So I brought him over for this book as well.
Okay. Now I'll say this. I just picked up the Batman Who Laughs graphic novel
Mm.
because I wanted to read the whole thing. I read 10 pages and I had to stop. My eyes hurt because every time the Batman Who Laughs talks, it's red letters on black background, but
Mm.
they're thin red letters and I couldn't make them out.
Couldn't read them.
This is, yeah, it's like, I have no idea what he's saying. But this is bold. This is nice and contrasted. So, this is
Yeah,
DC. Look,
DC
this is how you do.
right, right, and yeah, DC Hopkins when he was lettering it, like I could tell, he also kind of separated the lettering from the art itself, even though that it's mostly a black background of the art. He made his own separate layer for it, so that when you look at the lettering and the letters, you can actually read it. It's a lot clearer.
Yeah, like especially right here on the side of the face, you can tell that he
Right,
added some
right.
black to contrast that. Um, and then it gets dense. I'm not going to try to read that because
Right.
that's
Yeah, and Kickstarter, anytime I kind of worry sometimes about showing two-page spreads on Kickstarter's page on their campaign page because it compresses everything so much and that you don't get the full page and like what it'll actually feel like or look like. But yeah, there's definitely it'll look a lot better in print than what it looks like on there.
oh, it looks just layout wise, it looks great. I
Yeah.
love the flow of it all. Um, like I said, you just can't read it until you get eight, 6.5 by 10
Zoom in.
quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, this is a very, very heavy metal kind of vibe going to it here.
Yeah, definitely. Marco Roblin loves heavy metal magazine so much, and that was definitely an inspiration. And also Barry Windsor Smith's Weapon X and
Yeah.
some of his other work too. So yeah,
Yeah. And here she is on the quest, on the march, and pretty much all she can say is huff and puff and you know, breathing heavy because she's carrying a beach ball or a bowling
that's
ball
right.
rather. Um, it's, and it's also very dune-like. I mean, this is a desert kind of landscape, at least what
Yeah.
I've seen. I don't know if there's like jeweled cities and fertile valleys and all that, but what we've seen so far is thirsty making pictures.
You got to take another drink.
Let's do it. Now, the sword is interesting because we've seen her wielding it in some of the images, some of the static images. Uh,
Yeah.
but at this point, it's wrapped up like a mummy, which makes it real hard to, pull it out and use it.
Hmm.
Uh, is the
Yeah. Yeah.
sword important?
It is. It's important because she doesn't necessarily want to give herself away, who she is, to her travelers and the people that she is going to run into here on the peak. Because um, Sizen, everyone goes to see him when they have a request of him, something that the natural world cannot offer. They need a miracle, and so they go to this ancient Sizen to get that miracle and to offer something to him, so that they can hopefully receive what they have, come for. But what's so interesting about this is that this mountain in particular and the way that the way that Sizen is and the way he works is that this mountain in particular doesn't necessarily work in our own present day time frame. Like the people that are coming to this mountain are from the past and the future and the present.
Oh,
And so, yeah, so like there's a lot of risk involved in showing who you are because you could either mess up the timeline or you're trying to protect yourself. So,
So people would recognize her by the sword.
yes, yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Want to remind everybody, it is Friday night, so at the top of the hour when we're finishing up here, do pop over to the mic stand. Rick Piper is going to be Mike's guest tonight as they go over comics from December of 1939. That's what they do on Friday nights, Nandor. It's really cool.
Very cool.
Mike
Yeah.
Mike reads Golden Age comics in sequence. He's been doing this for a couple of years now, and I guest host on there about once a month on a Friday. We do the voices, the sound effects. It's
That's
like
so
radio
cool.
theater
Wow.
with comics. So do pop over there and give it a like and a follow while you're at it, guys. It's a good show. He's doing the Superman and Batman books now, so it's educational. That's where things came from. I the comic book is not painted, right?
It's not. No, it's digital colors. Yeah.
Okay, because it's got this blended painted feel to a lot of the images.
Yeah, it would trick you. It like when started to get the first few pages in from Marco Roblin, I had to ask him that actually. I was like, "Wait a second. I thought you were doing this digitally." And he was like, "This is digital." And I was just like blown away by it. I'm like, "How can you capture
How are you
those
smudging
textures
it
so
that
well?"
way?
Yeah, yeah, right. It feels unnatural, and then the fact that he can do it that way. So, yeah, it's really impressive.
It gives this entire thing, knowing that you're in the presence of a mystical presence of or person. It gives it an entire ethereal look to it. I
Yeah.
mean, you can almost hear the wine glass chime of just
Yeah,
echoing
and the
in and out.
chanting, like the choir or whatever. Yeah, like you can hear like Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings soundtrack while you read this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, I'm not going to ask what's going on here. Yeah, I am. Um, Somebody's raising a sword and getting applause. Is there a fight going on? A battle?
So yeah, at the first panel there, we have Princess Aurelia at the top of the page. We have Princess Aurelia, bowing right there, and she is being gifted the sword of Chell, which is the sword of her house or her people. And so um, it's being passed down from her father to her, and she is now that is her prize for um, beating the Macmol, this race of creatures that they've been in war and conflict with for so long. And she is now what they call the pride of Telindius, which is the kingdom that they're from. So he's passing on that heirloom and that sword to Princess Aurelia to show that she is our savior, our warrior. So
You said tail endy. I'm like, wait a second, is this tail end comics? Tail end. I'm like, that would be kind of cool, actually. I think these are a little out of sequence. I'm hoping, or maybe they're in sequence, but we're getting flashbacks. Not sure how
right,
you're
yeah,
storytelling.
no, it kind of jumps around a little bit. They're not all in sequence. No, it's kind of just I wanted to feature certain pages and certain aspects of it to give you the scope of it all.
And again, the digital coloring on this sky, uh, wow, that's digital is crazy. Um, so let's take a look at what we've got to offer here. Now, is this a full page?
It is. Yep. It's a splash page.
Who does a splash page on a profile? But I'm like, is something going on? Is that shadowing or?
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm like, I thought like her face was being eaten up there or something.
No, this is cross hatching.
Okay. So here we go. We're into the rewards. This is what you can get, folks. This is, what you're going to spend your money on tonight. and I do mean tonight to get in here and
Yeah,
all
and
this out.
I want to
Credit card.
say, while people that are watching, so we only have 20 minutes left for the early bird rewards. So for the first 48 hours, we had discounts on the main cover and the collector's edition of the book, but those are going to end in like 20-30 minutes here. So
And that's this one right here. It's $11. $11. Get the PDF and get cover A. Um,
a wraparound cover at that.
a wraparound cover. Yeah, this one right here. Um, so for $11, that's a great deal. For a 38-page comic. I mean, these are usually like $25 books at this rate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now this is the art print that you'll get with that. If you back it in the first
Correct.
48 hours.
Yeah.
In the next 20 minutes, people, if you want this print, act now. And this is again more of a comic book style, but I dig it. It's it's warrior princess, ogres and orcs, and it's all on another planet. So they're not real orcs. So don't anybody get in an uproar. Treatment of orcs. You gotta be careful. And here are the basic tiers after that. You got your PDF for $6. It's about right. Yeah, I think that's what I usually see things going for. $14, but without the print. If you wait 20 more minutes, so don't do that. Get in there now. 15 more minutes. And with the gorgeous wraparound cover. Now, if you want print cover B, that's $20. And C, I think they're all $20 after that, right?
Yeah, except covers E and F, the last two are 25.
Okay, so yeah, because there are six tiers. Kickstarter sorts by price, so I'm kind of seeing what gets skipped over here. You've got a collector's edition here, so you're going to sign one of the covers.
Yes.
And then this comes with a different
Another art print
that we didn't see up.
Yeah, that one is after. Yeah, it's lower.
Okay. 25 for cover E, and you've got a retailer bundle here. Now, help me figure this out here because cover A is $14.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a retailer bundle of 5 for $25.
Yeah.
The math isn't working for me here, Nandor. What's going on?
So, I imagine when I go to retail with this book, I will sell it for $10. And so I didn't want retailers to get 5 copies of a book and have to sell it for $15 or $20 in their shops. I didn't feel like that was fair to them for retailers to do that. And so, but I feel like selling it for $10 for them would be a good deal for them, and they would feel like that was justified. So there's a 50% split there, and that's why it's 25.
Okay. That's a heck of a deal because normally it's like, well, I sold it for $14. I'll sell it then for 10. And this would have been a $50 tier.
Right.
For the collector's edition, you get a variant of your choice. Variant being B or C or D.
Yeah, B, C, D, E, and F. Yeah.
Okay. And it'll be signed, and you will get the art print again, which we're going to see as we scroll down here. If you like the whole acknowledgments thing, you got producer credit, something your grandkids can look at and say, "Hey, Dad did this." You can get that with the signed cover A and that art print. Now this one's got me thinking because this is you get the signed cover A and you get an original sketch.
Yeah.
Is this like a commission sketch, or is this like I've got some sketches that I did for the book and you can?
No, it's a commission sketch. Yeah.
Because he does a lot of heavy blacks.
Yeah,
and it's an inking term, people.
Yeah.
It's some gorgeous stuff there. And for $80, I can't. How big is that? Is that like a card?
What the
The
sketch?
sketch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be around like 5 by 7 or like 6 by 8 sketch. Yeah,
Okay, so something that'll fit in the comic book sleeve.
definitely.
If you're a completionist, you want all those covers, and why wouldn't you? You don't have to choose. $115. Um, that's a deal. Get all 6 of them and be done. Um, and then you can get the okay. So what's the oh? I see what the difference is. You get the Foxhole Comics bundle for $125. Nandor, tell the people what they get for $125.
Yeah, so you get over 300 and like 70 pages of comics. And you get Seasons volumes 1 and 2, and you get Lifeline, and you get Manchild issue 1 and 2. All physical copies except for Seasons volume 1 because I ran out of them. I don't have them anymore. But you do get the PDF. And you get also the Fabled offering cover A, and you get all my books that I've ever published for a sweet deal of $125. So yeah, you get one hardcover, one trade paperback, two floppies, and one shot.
And then for 150, if you now hang on a second here. How close to being done is the book?
We are a little over halfway done.
Okay, so you've got I'm guessing there's a page reserved. It's like don't finish this page until the campaign's over.
Yeah,
Keep
no,
going
no,
into it.
there's a lot more opportunities to add backers towards the end of the book, and so it actually worked out really well for us because there were some good spots that I noted that I was like, okay, this would be a great page to like have a backer be in this.
Nice little crowd scene with some close up on the
Yeah,
faces where you
if you wanted to be an alien, or if you wanted to be like a gambler or someone who's kind of if you wanted an extra arm or whatever, we could play around and do some fun stuff.
could do anything in comics, folks. The budget is sky's the limit. So this is the print that we were teasing earlier, and
Yeah.
this is wow. This is Dustin Tyree and and Shad. This is how a woman holds a sword. Um, you got a good tight grip on that thing. Now this is a blade. This is like a steel blade, so it looks kind of like it's glowing. This is not a lightsaber.
Mhm.
Um, but it's
Yeah, it's a mystical
soak it
sword.
in,
Yeah.
soak it in, people. This is the good stuff. Um, and again, no baby. Uh, she- she's just completely milfed now. Um, I know. Stretch goals. Princess Aurelia chibi sticker. Now, so this is from Michael Abstracto.
Yes. Mhm.
Now this one she is pregnant in this one again. We're gonna go back and forth that pregnancy pictures. I can tell, and you can tell because she's mad. She-
She's
um,
very mad, yeah, and
but she's
she's
definitely
holding.
killed an orc or a goblin or something here.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Yeah, I thought it would be really fun to it would make it even more kind of adorable to have a very upset Princess Aurelia, but in a chibi form, so
Now I didn't notice in the other pictures, but in the chibi, she's got little elfin ears. Is she sort of a
she
Vulcan
does have
princess?
elfin ears in the book, yes, yeah.
Yeah, we said elfin, not elephant. People, it's they're cute and pointed. Um, and miscommunication. Can you give her elfin ears? Sure. And
Yeah. Wait, that got lost in translation.
yes. You got this trading card here. Um, I always balk at calling them trading cards because what are you gonna trade them for? There's only one. Uh,
Yeah,
it's
mhm.
a one of one, but it looks like it's a gaming card now. Like it could be inserted in some kind of game. Is it modeled after any kind of a game?
Not necessarily. I mean, I was looking at some of the card games I used to play as a kid, and like games like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or um, oh, Overpower was an old Marvel card game in the '90s that I played a lot. But I just tried to. I wanted it since we were doing a fantasy book. I wanted to do a trading card that felt like it was an RPG like card game or something that you would find in somewhere, or like a collectible artifact that you could find somewhere. And if we do make this stretch goal, there's another one for Sizen that we would love to do, and hopefully we can get to more trading cards. But yeah, I'd love to have a little booster pack or collection of Fabled Offering trading cards.
Yeah, and for 8,500, if you hit that, you're going to do a world map. Now, tell me about that because I've been packaging some world maps for Fiendish,
Uh
and
huh.
that can get interesting. How is your world map going to work out here? What's it going to be?
Yeah. Well, if possible, I would like to, have it fit in a comic book package, kind of have it be a print size world map where it shows Princess Aurelia's journey from her kingdom to Gafira Mountain. Or, if I had to, I could possibly insert it into the book itself, and have have that be the end pages of the book too, or where you could fold it out. So that's what we're thinking about it.
Okay, let me throw an idea at you, and
Sure.
I don't care if you go this way or not. I've been folding up maps that are about 3 foot by 2.5 foot. And
Okay.
I fold them once and then over again. Uh, but it's okay because she printed them on cloth, uh,
Oh,
which is
wow. That's
yeah, which is apparently not bad, not expensive, and it's
not
not
too
going to crease.
expensive.
You're going to
Yeah.
unfold it. Now they're sealed in like a plastic um, sealer, but you can take it out once you've got it. Um,
Okay. That's so cool.
so
Yeah.
it's like
That's a
a
good
tapestry, very
suggestion.
thin cloth.
Yeah.
Um, which for a world map. Now she's doing an ongoing series, so weigh that against the
Right.
one shot opportunity. Um, you're also looking at doing a black and white director's cut. I love black and white. Um, I'm not sure that I would want to lose those psychedelic smudged digital colors that we were oohing and eyeing over there, but um,
Yeah.
would be interesting to see the pure inks. I think. Uh, and then a perfect bound deluxe edition. So, the floppy you're getting right now is going to be saddle stitch. I'm guessing the staples,
Hmm.
and here
Correct.
you would be taking it to more of a Dark Knight Returns kind of format. That stiff.
Yeah, more of a prestige edition, and Perfect Bound has to at least be 48 pages. So we'll definitely be adding more pages and adding more, material for the book so that we could hit that. And yeah, so I'm really hoping, yeah, we could get to that, or we could get close to that, because I think a more prestige edition of this book would be very, you know, it would make sense for it.
All right. Uh, we've also got the Indie Comics bundle. Now this is your interworking with other creators here.
That's right. Yeah. So once we hit 150 backers, every backer of the Fabled Offering campaign is going to get these 5 books as a PDF bundle for free. You're just going to get it automatically. And then for every 25 backers after that, we'll add a book to the bundle. And they're all science fiction fantasy related. So,
Yeah, and I know some of these people, so I can attest to the quality of the book you're going to get. And I'll assume that everybody else is just as good too. The funds, the creators, nobody cares about all this. Nobody's reading. Nobody stopped. Everyone stopped reading past this point. They've already picked the book they're going to get. Um,
that's right. I hope so.
hopefully, people have. We're at 1675, 56 backers. I think that's where we were when we started. Um,
I think we were at 54, 55. I think we got a backer.
oh well, then good. You would get a little ping. I hope from
Yeah.
Kickstarter. So that would be great. Thank you, whoever that was. Um, I was going to go somewhere, but I think no, that's after show conversation. So I can hold my tongue on that one. Um, I know you've got this is like your your third or fourth title that you've done. So I know you've got things on the drawing board. You got little post-it notes up saying, "Hey, on this day, I need to start doing this." Um,
Yeah.
what are you working on right now? Because for your part, this is done. You're just kind of
Hmm.
managing it at this point to get it completed. But what are you creating
Yeah.
right?
So what I'm working on right now is a new project, a whole new project that I hope to unveil early next year if I can. But I've been in the process of working on it. It's going to be more of a noir post-apocalyptic story that I'm excited about doing. But
There you go,
other
blending
than
genres again. We got post-apocalyptic Sam Spade. Um,
yeah, so that's something that I've been working on, and then in the meantime, Anthony Gonzalez Clark and I are going to be working on Volume 3 of Seasons, and Jay Mazar and I are going to be working on Man-Child issue 3. So I hope to crowdfund both of those next year while I'm working on writing this other project that I have.
all right. Well, Nandor, we have reached the top of the hour. 7:59, perfect timing. Um, Congratulations so far. Um,
Thank
no
you.
reason to doubt that you're not going to get this funded because you've done this, but not your first rodeo.
Yeah,
This is-
yeah.
you know what you're doing here. You got yourself lined up on a bunch of different shows to go.
I do. Yes. Yeah, I have a whole full schedule coming up, so I'm really excited to see familiar faces and catch up with people just like we've done tonight. So,
Yeah, let
thank
us
you
know you're
so much.
still out there.
Yeah,
All
I
right. Well,
am. Yeah, I try to. I definitely would love to frequent streams more, and that's something that um, I hope to do as we get into later in the year and early next year, and to do more of these because I really enjoy doing them. I just always want to. I always want to have something to um, add to the conversation and not just kind of be there. It's like, oh, I
yeah.
I want to have something to show or to share with people. So.
It's harder for us writers because we actually have to talk. The artists, you can just put your camera down on the page and you're like, I'm not even going to talk about what
Yeah,
you've got
yeah,
on the
and
drawing board.
it's so much more interesting to see an artist at work than a writer just like talking about ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Now, of course, unless you're another writer, then nobody's
Yeah,
watching, but everybody in the conversation is active because we like ideas.
yeah,
Well, thank you for coming on our show, and you know, especially so early in your campaign when it's a big push. We're just a small pond in this big industry of indie comics, so we're glad you came here. Um, Looking forward to having you again anytime you need to push something. We're here. Let us know.
yeah. Happy to.
Everyone in the chat, thank you guys for coming tonight. We don't have a show without you guys. We're just a podcast falling in the woods otherwise. So we're glad that you're here. And of course, while you were here, as always, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.